Yeah, going to record this webinar. So good afternoon and welcome to our Aspire webinar. My name is Silvia Chani and I'm the Sustainable Business Lead working in the Sustainability and Infrastructure Department of Glen Eira Council. First of all, I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the land of the Bummerang and Wurundjeri people of the Eastern Kulin Nation as traditional owners and custodians, and we pay our respect to their elders, past and present. Thanks for attending the webinar today and to learn more about Aspire, the online marketplace that, of course, you are free to use in Glen Eira. Just before we get into it, just a few housekeeping rules. Obviously, to keep your microphone muted, and if you want to have any question, then you can feel free to type it in the chat, and then we will answer it in the Q&A session and at the end of the presentation. And we also going to send the recording to everyone who participated and also who signed up and couldn't attend the meeting. Okay, so before we get into Aspire, I would like to end the program, of course. So yes, I already said the acknowledgement of the country. So the program is, I have a quick introduction talking about City of Glen Eira, and then I will hand it over to Cameron, who is the manager, the owner of Aspire. And then we have time for Q&A and close of the session. And yes, so the next slide, please. Yep, that's me. So a bit about City of Glen Eira. In 2020, Glen Eira declared a climate emergency, and within that, we aim to reduce our emissions to zero by 2031. We are home to over 156,000 residents, including a high proportion of young families. High quality parks and recreation reserves contribute to the city's livability and character, although only 4.4% of municipal area is open space. Waste is a significant part of Council's work. We work closely with our community to divert 60% of household waste from landfill, as well as partnering with local business to improve their circularity. We also reflect on our own waste, and we are committed to innovation and in our operations. We speak regularly with our community about what is important to them. In 2023-24 alone, we heard from more than 8,000 people through our surveys. And of course, it included waste as well. Next slide, please. Yep, so about waste. Since being one of the first councils in the Southeast to introduce food waste recycling in 2018, garbage collected from households has reduced by nearly 10,000 tons, while organics collected has increased by over 8,000 tons. This is a huge achievement, with all that food waste now being turned into compost for Victorian farmers instead of methane in landfill. We still have a way to go in educating our community. So 30% of general rubbish collected last year was food waste. The amount of mixed recycling has remained relatively static in recent years. We anticipate these figures will change over time with the recent introduction of the container deposit scheme, as well as the rollout of separate glass recycling by 2027. Our community education campaigns around the circular economy are making an impact in other areas too. Use of hard waste service has almost doubled, with collection increasing by 2,000 tons in the last few years. This hard waste is further processed and recycled wherever possible, recovering resources instead of losing them to landfill. Next slide, please. So our plan, key to guiding our work to reduce waste to landfill has been our Circular Economy Plan 2020, that was developed in 2022 and will go on till 2026. As our model for community and business in the city of Glen Eira. It seeks to build from our already good track record as early adopters and positions us as leaders since Glen Eira was the first council to have the Circular Economy Plan adopted. So the Circular Economy Plan starts with core target performance areas. Those are areas where we felt that we could make the most difference, are including community knowledge building, community waste in high density areas such as MUDs, community waste in commercial and industrial areas. This represents 1/3 of waste generation in Victoria, with 38% of all commercial and industrial waste currently sent to landfill. Community waste, hard waste collection, council waste, curbside collection, getting people to use the right bins every time and reduce contamination. So, as I said, this action plan will expire in 2026 and we will revisit and evaluate how we did. It is from our experience that there is the opportunity to achieve great results together with the community, but there are also challenges that we all need to work together to overcome and find a solution. And with this, I would like to hand over to Cameron McKenzie, owner of Aspire, to tell you more about this online marketplace for your unwanted resources. So, Cameron, the floor is yours.
Excellent. Thank you for that great introduction. And also too, it's really good to be, on this call with Glen Eira because they're so progressive as they've been for a while. There's what some people don't understand. We work with a lot of local governments, a lot of industry, and to develop and launch a circular economy plan from 2022. It's one of the first ones going around. So my hat goes off to you if I was wearing one. But before we kick off, hello everyone. My name's Cameron McKenzie. I'm the CEO of Aspire. So a little bit about my background. I worked about 15 years in the construction sector, and obviously being an apprentice into that industry, you get sort of taught, to put all the bad stuff at the bottom of the skip, and some of the behaviours weren't really that warranted. And from there, I sort of got the bug regarding being more sustainable, especially in the construction sector. And now I'm lucky enough to manage Aspire. And obviously over the next sort of 45 minutes, we'll talk a little bit about the platform, what we do, how we do it, how we're working with Glen Eira, and we'll give you a bit of a demonstration of the platform and a few things that you probably want to do, obviously, when you're first starting off. So before we sort of go into the nuts and bolts of it, what I want to do is I want to play this short video. This talks about a couple of businesses in Southeast Melbourne and what they're doing. So before I talk too much, I'll press play and I'll come back to you in a moment.
Here at Pacifico, we manufacture construction materials. We pride ourselves on the fact that our product contains at least 50% recycled material, diverting waste from landfill. Currently now, we are diverting 9 cubic metres of polystyrene waste per day. We've got 1.5 tonne of paper per day, and we've got about 2 tonne of glass per week that we divert. The Aspire program is a great tool because having the dashboard available to everyone in the business, we have a snapshot of how much we've diverted from landfill, what resources are available, how much we've taken in for that week or month. Aspire has opened us up to a community. So we've gotten in touch with councils and other local businesses that before Aspire we didn't even know existed. And we can then learn about their waste because what we'd like to do is expand. So have a look at future waste streams and see how we can then use our chemistry to incorporate that waste to make new products or better products. So for us, Aspire made us also look at what we've got for waste. So we've got like waste pallets, plastic, timber. A huge problem right now is bulk bags. So it's looking at who can take our bulk bags, but it's also made us think about how we might be able to use those bulk bags in the future to go into our product as well. So I think it made us stop and think about how we can use waste better. Everyone wants to be greener and we all want to, show that we're being greener, but this isn't a tool where we can actually track it. And I think when you see it on a dashboard, you kind of strive to do better and better and better to get those numbers up, right? Aspire is really easy to use. It's not complicated. You've just got your resources in and your resources out. You can go on and have a look for something that's compatible, and you shoot a quick, yes, I'm interested. And also what's really good is sometimes when you're busy working, you're not always thinking about the waste that you need or the waste that you need to get rid of. So Aspire would often send me an email alerting me to waste that I have a match with. So then I just go, bam, I can just connect so easy with that person, and in their own time, they can connect back with me.
Excellent. So yeah, thanks for watching that. So that's a company called Casafico down the South Peninsula. We've also too helped them. Obviously, they've just launched in Queensland too, so we sort of do a lot around sort of that aspect to it. And also too, you'll see soon some of the dashboard upgrades that we've done. But we'll go into sort of the rest of the information. 1 second. Yeah, so I'll give you a bit of background about Aspire. So what we do fundamentally is we allow businesses to exchange waste as a resource or like surplus materials as a resource. We create internal and external marketplaces where businesses can exchange these resources, but also repurpose them within their own organisation. One of the other key things, when it comes to circular economy and moving to this space, it's obviously helping businesses and organisations with their transition, but also that education aspect around it. We also too, one of the main elements of Aspire too, is we help organisations measure their Scope 3 carbon reductions. And we've got one of the first in the world ISO verified carbon calculators to report on businesses' surplus materials and the best use of their excess materials as well. We've got a track and trace element in the platform where I'll show you during the demonstration, where you can add a QR code and you can actually scan and prove where the items actually go. And one of the things about sort of Aspire, where it actually originated from, is it actually came from CSIRO and Data61. And what they did is they created an algorithm that matches businesses' surplus material streams. So we've partnered with Glen Eira Council, hence why we're on this webinar here today. If those on the webinar, please jump onto the QR code and you can have a look and see how we're actually working with them. To use Aspire in the city of Glen Eira, you have to be a business under 20 employees and you can register for free. And how that works is when you put your ABN into Aspire, when you register, what happens there is basically we can find out the system's intuitive enough to find out where your business is registered. And then you go through and use the platform for free. Also, too, if your ABN is listed or registered, say, in the city of Melbourne or in another area that's not necessarily in Glen Eira where you operate, just let us know and we can move you into their ecosystem. So we actually launched with Glen Eira back in September last year or November, around that time. And obviously what we're trying to do is create awareness and help bring world's best practice to businesses. And what we want to do is to help them start trading and obviously saving these resources from going to landfill. So what to expect with the relationship with Glen Eira. So what you will get is you'll get emails from myself or Glen Eira or our company regarding encouraging you guys to jump onto the platform and exchange those resources. Also too, we've got a support team. If you've made an offer or you've got an offer pending, they'll reach out via email, or the system will generate an email just to give you a notification to go, hey, if you're still interested in these assets. There's follow-up calls that we'll get. Again, reminders, and also too, we can do some site visits time to time, and also assist you with loading resources onto the platform. Because at the end of the day, we want you guys to be more successful when it comes to sustainability, and we want to be able to, baby step you or gradually get you to where you need to be making smart business decisions. So why use Aspire? So obviously you can see there on the right, we're a digital platform. You can use it off your computer, tablet, or mobile phone. We help organizations, as you could sort of see in that video, create new supply chains and help with the market optimization. A lot of questions that we get is how many assets you can actually put onto Aspire. Well, it's actually unlimited. You can have thousands of resources that you're trying to get rid of, or thousands of resources you want to bring into your business, being a circular economy platform. But we've got over 200 different types of commodities that can be transacted. And what we call commodity on the platform can be anything from like organics to, the desk that you're probably sitting on now, to construction demolition materials. We have some really unique exchanges that go onto the platform. I've got some case studies I'll show you a little bit later. But one of the things too that's really important, especially with some of the 2030 and some of these visions that are coming up at the moment, is obviously to align your organisation's ESG and reporting. And there's a little bit more I'll talk about. Some mandatory reporting is going to come in approximately 6 weeks into the Australian regulation system, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But I'll show you more about how that works soon. So what does Aspire do? So we do some circular economy education and consulting. We do resource audits. So we do a lot of that as a part of the offering with the tool. We do circular economy training. And obviously too, we offer that digital platform that helps businesses make data-driven decisions and reduce their waste and sending it to landfill. So how do we approach? So basically, we use the technology to leverage the data and help the organisations make really, really smart decisions. We work science-based goals and targets, obviously through the platform. We've got, obviously, inside the organisation, we've got over 20 years of industry experience, provides practical solutions and help organisations, connect the dots and connect to other businesses who will use those assets as a resource rather than send the landfill. And we're all about building collaborative partnerships, because at the end of the day, circular economy, if it's not one person can do it, it's about a whole organisation getting together and pushing the circular economy journey and helping themselves and connecting with other businesses around that. One of the other really important things that what we're sort of doing with Aspire is we work a lot with local governments, as I sort of said earlier, but we've got everyone from Frankston up to Kingston out to Knox. So I've got a fair pocket of businesses in that sort of little segment in southeast Melbourne. So you can connect and work with businesses. You can connect to an asset that might be in Queensland, or you can connect to someone that's locally. But being a circular economy platform, we want to be making those sustainable decisions and helping you, nudging you with the technology aspect of it. So I'll just go through, I'm going to do a demonstration a little bit later. So I'll just touch on this on a high level. So this is what the dashboard looks like. A little bit different from the video earlier. We've just had a bit of an upgrade on a few of the tools. But you can see down the left-hand side, you've got a menu bar, and you can sort of see what we sort of measure there or we report on. There's tutorials, there's all types of different things we get in the platform, but we'll get to that in a moment. So obviously, one of the things that's really important is actually creating these impact certificates for businesses to help sponsor the platform moving forward, or to help align with some of the mandatory reporting that's coming out. At the moment, we've got about 4,500 users on the platform at the moment, which is not too bad. We're pretty happy with that. We've actually had over, I think it's close to 700,000 tonnes exchanged on the platform. And one of the things we do on the platform too is we also measure landfill levy savings. As you know, every state in the country, they've got a landfill levy that you'll pay to get rid of these resources, depending on if you're metropolitan or regional. But in Victoria, I think it's about $167 a tonne, or I think it might have just gone up more. I'm not quite sure. They adjust it periodically. Yeah, so what we want to do is we've got in the platform, we can help adjust it and help sort of measure and bring some alignment around that. So I want to go through a couple of case studies here to sort of show organisations how and why. So this is an organisation they've got here up in Queensland that have joined. They've been using Aspire now for just on 4 years. And collectively over the period, they've saved themselves over $2 million in savings. And also too, mind you, that didn't happen overnight. As I sort of said earlier, you know, it was a gradual gradual sort of process to get them to where they needed to be. There's a lot of at the start, obviously onboarding education, you know, working out what resource can go on, where are the quick wins, and how they can sort of move to us on the circular journey. Here's another case study we've got here. This is with one of our partners up in the Sunshine Coast. So this is quite a great sort of case study we've got here. So what we had is up in Queensland, there was a lot of obviously bad weather we've had recently. I think it was late last year up there, and they had a lot of roads that sort of lifted on the road tailings came off. It was quite dangerous, and they're going to pay a significant amount of money to get that cleaned up. But we had quite a savvy procurement manager on the platform at the time. And what they did is they actually listed it into the platform. And there was another organisation or another asset that Sunshine Coast owned, and it was a velodrome, an aerodrome, sorry. And basically they needed the crush rock around there to help with some of their rural roads and a few things like that. So from that, phenomenal amount of savings around sort of that exchange, and obviously doing that internally. It's a purely, you know, really positive circular economy outcome from a business sort of thinking outside the box. Here's a couple of more. So this gives you a little bit of an idea of the resources that can get exchanged. This is the Kingston on the right here. So we had an organisation that were moving out of a premises. They were downscaling, and they had I think about 1,200 different assets that they put onto the platform. And this was just one of them that they got. They had these stand-up desks that the electric ones that go up and down, and they're going to get thrown out. And someone within the organisation thought, hey, let's put this onto Aspire and see what we can get out of it. And yeah, they managed to give them away for free, but obviously too, they didn't have to send them to landfill, so they saved on landfill diversion costs. And you can sort of see another one there on the left. They've got obviously these steel drums that were getting stockpiled. I think it was a bit of an insurance issue too after speaking to the businesses. But basically through that, they managed to repurpose them onto Aspire, which was really great outcome. And one of the things with this is too, they get these drums that come into their business, I think every week. So what they do is they sort of hold them for a period and get that connection again. So it's all about creating those long-term and sustainable connections with these businesses. So again, you know, a really important aspect to the business that we're trying to do. Another thing I wanted to talk about too, just quickly. For those who aren't aware, there's mandatory climate-related financial disclosures that are coming out on January 1st next year. So basically what that is you can sort of see there on the left, the WHO. There's 3 different groups of organisations that they're going to be applicable to, or the regulations are going to apply to. From January 1st, it's for organisations. Those numbers look quite high there, but I'll explain to you in a minute why it's quite important. I think it's over $500 million worth of revenue, 500 employees, or $1 billion worth of consolidated assets that they're going to have to be reporting on these metrics and targets. And a lot of the people, a lot of the businesses we speak to go, hey, we don't sort of fit into that area, or that's too big for us. Even group 1, it's 50 million, 25 million and 100 staff. But one of the things is if you're doing any work for a lot of these organizations who fit into those different categories, they're going to be asking you for this information and this data. So it's going to be really important that basically when these organizations, if you're working for any big corporate, or you've got an organization, like again, we're speaking to an organization last week that one of their biggest contractors is Super Cheap Autos. So, and they said, hey, this doesn't have to abide by us. I go, well, actually, who's your biggest customer? They fit into this box, and they're going to be asking you for this data. So better off you getting on the front foot and be able to provide something rather than having to go back and forth. You're going to be alleviating a lot of pain for these bigger organisations. And also too, you've got to be thinking that you're not the only one who's contracted to these guys. I've got them as a customer. So, you know, they're always going to be going for organisations who are going to be able to provide this information for them on a timely basis. And you can sort of see there on the right why how important it is. You know, there's all different sort of international models that the Australian government are aiming for. You know, like when it comes to like the 4 degrees high risk for extreme weather, supply chain disruptions. So they all look about scenario analysis. So they want to know about your business and they need to be compliant by these laws. So again, it's like a really important aspect to it. You can see some of the metrics targets there. They sort of align to some of the Glen Eira ones that we were sort of speaking about earlier. You know, the metrics and targets reducing 30% by 2030 and net zero by 2050. So the Australian federal government are going to be doing that. There's obviously renewable energy targets. So a lot of this information, they're going to be asking for you to see what you are doing or what your plan is to be hitting these targets, because that's what they're going to have to be reporting on. So again, you know, some people don't think it doesn't apply to them, but it will be very quickly. You can see the risk management, some of the strategies they're going around there about the physical risk and transactional risk. So what they want to be doing is, you know, been trying to de-risk their business, and they're going to be pushing or asking you for certain information. So we work with organisations at the moment about how they're going to be aligning their data to be able to provide it. So that's something that we can sort of do and we can sort of offer. But again, this is like going to be a really important aspect so we can sort of hit these targets. So what I'll do now is I'll stop sharing for a second and I'll open up another screen and I'll talk you through a demonstration of the platform and how it works. So there's going to be a few things we're going to concentrate on here, and that's like how to upload a resource and how to set your interests. Because at the end of the day, Aspire is a circular economy platform. It's like you want to be looking at there to pull items off, but also to put items onto the platform. Just give me 1 second. I will bring up my other screen. And I will share. Let me know when you can sort of see this.
Can see it.
Yeah, excellent. Cool. So give me a sec. We'll just go up there. So basically, as I sort of said earlier or showed earlier, this is sort of the dashboard that you'll be looking at. There's 5 main metrics here that we sort of report on. So one's landfill levy diversion. The other one is embodied carbon savings. So an example of that is like 1 tonne of tyres is 3.2 tonnes of carbon. So when you actually put that through the platform, we can actually report on it and create impact certificates off the back, which is really, you know, a significant outcome of what you want to be doing to hit those goals. We've got tonnes exchanged here, resource exchange, and some of the revenue savings from that. So the difference with the revenue, there's like people sell a lot of their items on the platform, things that they don't actually need, but also too, a lot of them give them away for free because it's, you know, it's depreciated to such a point where they no longer need it, or it could be just a bit of a risk on the side or on the building side or in the, you know, in the storage, because it could be all types of different things, it could be flammable or whatever. But these are the main metrics here. This is a really important part of the platform. So these are the offers. So these are the things that are immediate that people are sort of looking for. As you can sort of see here, resources out of assets I'm getting out of my business, ones I want to get rid of, and resources in what I'm bringing in. So this is what I've made offers on or what I'm looking at down here. Okay. What I'll do is I'll go to, these are some of the different dashboards we can enable. So personal is myself if I'm exchanging, and this is what you would probably see as being a registered business under Glen Eira. We've got a company where you can actually manage or get some data around what your organisation are doing when you've got multiple users. And we've got sort of the new one we just sort of launched, internal. So that is actually if you're going from one place to another. So if you've got 2 locations within your business and you're exchanging assets across that, we can actually record on the impact that you're doing there. I'll go to the marketplace for a sec. So everyone will have access to this. They will see this fully. And with that, it allows you to list assets, but also have a look and see what you're looking for. So here it's a filter down the left-hand side. So if you're only looking for particular assets, you can do that. You've got default locations, so you can actually set it within like a kilometre of your residency or where your business is located. We can go in within like 5 kilometres if you're only looking for Victoria. If also too, just FYI, this is our test portal, so I can actually hit buttons here and not upset the Apple Cart or people in the network. And we can also do within like 10 kilometres here, 10 kilometres of a fixed address. Okay, so you can actually zoom right into where you want what you're looking for. Okay, here we can also search what you're looking for, is for sale, for free, or seller pay for disposal, and that means you can pick it up at a fee or something along those lines. We sort of keep out of the way of that. What we want to do is facilitate that exchange. And you can go in here and have a look at some of the resources here that are listed. This is a typical listing ID. So obviously you've got the several photos there. Every single asset on Aspire has got a unique listing ID, which you can sort of see here. You can see it's for free. It's construction demolition type. It just gives you a bit of a breakdown of what it actually is. You can have a look and see the listing duration. I'll go through that in a second on how that works. And basically, yeah, you can sort of sit there and make an offer on it if you wish. So you can go through here. I want 20 tons, confirm, proceed. And what will happen is people on the demand side, or the person who actually owns that asset, they'll get a notification to say, hey, someone's wanting this product. And from there, they'll message you back or they'll accept it. But we've got a chat function within the platform here, as you can see here. So if you're not getting anything back or you need some more clarification, you can send them a message here and this will pop up, give them a notification and let them know, hey, someone's looking for this asset. But also too, they'll get a notification, a push notification on their phone when they download the app, and they'll also get an email to let them know that someone's interested in that asset. Okay, so that's how we sort of facilitate the exchange. I'll go to resources here. So this is like an important part of the platform. So just give me one moment. So this is resources out. So if I was speaking with a business, I think it was last week, and they had a lot of, I think it was racking, like steel racking shells out of a factory. And I was just explaining to them how to list the asset and how to list the resource. And what I'll do is, instead of going through and doing one from start, I'll just open up one, I'll edit it. So all the information is in there for you to look at. So in here, you can sort of see, you can put down the title of what you're looking for. Here I'll just go C and D, which means construction demolition products. All right, and obviously this listing ID, this is because obviously we've gone in, we've edited one that's already in there. This is already listed, but you'll actually get a new one whenever you list an asset. We've got a resource breakdown. So this is really popular with people that understand what the materials are in that product. So here you can actually go down and add 10 different light items to what that product is. So obviously you think about steel racking, a lot of it will be probably aluminium, there'll be some paint involved in it. Or if you think about something like a desk, there'd possibly be timber, there'd be laminate, steel legs or plastic legs, and some paint. So you can actually go down, if you're actually aware of it, you can actually put it in. You can also too, you can see here, you can add that documentation in there, right? So if you actually know it, you can add it in, or you can put it as one item, and you can also add the documentation here. Just for the demonstration, I won't go too far into it, but you can sort of see here that you can add different light items here, which is quite handy. Turn that off. From that, you add the resource, what it is. Here we've got, again, there's over 200 different types. You can go in, concrete block, clean fill, C and D. I'll just change it to that for the moment. Attributes. So here it goes through and you can sort of select what you're looking for, what it is, like it's clean fill, so it's reusable. I'll leave contaminate out of it, but we can put that there. You put the previous use, what it was, clean fill, it's pretty basic, but again, this is just a demonstration. You put down the total weight here, so you can go 50 tons, right? It's 50 tons, and one unit means obviously there's one load of 50 tons, and it gives you a listing summary here, so you can make sure when it lists into the ecosystem that it looks correct, and you understand what the summary is. Here, some people have this, some people don't. If you need proof to handle or dispose of the asset, some people want this on, some people don't. It's up to them. With this too, you can add different locations, because as I sort of said earlier, some organisations have got 2 or 3 different sites. Someone like Glen Eira might have 2 or 3 different businesses or locations through, instead of one big head office, they might have different ones. We have some organisations or local governments might have this as their transfer station. They put that in there so they can list some assets. Just here's a brief description of what it is, what the asset is. You can put down links, how long it is, different sort of things there, anything in particular. This is all free type. You can do what you like. Here we've got a quality scale. Again, this is subjective. Yeah, so here we'll put excellent just for the sake of the exercise. Yeah, and also too, here you can upload the different elements of different documentation that you might want to. Some people add more photos or like a picture of it on a weight scale or anything like that. And you can sit here too and create a QR code. Right, so what this does is this generates with the resource, and also too, you can print this out. You can actually put it on. Like we have a lot of customers who might have a container worth of goods that they're trying to get rid of, or a skip load of goods, and what they'll do is they'll actually put this onto the skip, like sticky tape it or tape it to it somehow to it. So basically, we can scan it when it leaves the premises and when it lands, and this can track and trace and tell us exactly where it goes. Listing duration here. So here, like what we want to try to do is, being obviously a resource platform like this, we understand some of the barriers when it comes to timing and time. Okay, so basically what you can do is, we know today's Monday the 25th. I can actually list the resource on the platform today, and I want it to be picked up, or it's going to be available for pickup from next Monday for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 6 months. You can actually put that into the platform, so we can actually determine, to get that successful match, but also too, it notifies everyone in the ecosystem that basically here's this asset. It's going to be ready to be picked up Monday, and it sort of helps with that logistical challenge that sometimes some businesses have with it. Here, you can sort of change this. These are the 3 different mechanisms in Aspire. You can pay for disposal, give it away for free, or I'm selling. Here, I'll just put away, giving away, pay for disposal. I'll just put 1,000 here, approximate 1,000. You can do whatever you like there. And he also, so basically what this will do, this will go into the platform and allow businesses know that, hey, I'm selling these assets for X amount. Or again, you can just give it away for free. And you just got to put like a value into here, just so that we can calculate the savings off the back of it. Drag and drop some photos if you wish. There's only one in here. And then we sort of hit accept and update. And what that'll do is that will go notify everyone on the demand side who's looking for construction demolition products, and then they will get notified that, hey, this is something here, and they'll get a push notification. They'll either go yes or no if they want it or not, or they'll get an email and they can connect you directly for that exchange. So that's really, really important part of how the platform works. So again, that's resources out. Resources in are assets that I'm bringing into my business. So anything you've made an offer on, so to speak. And also too, one thing with resources in, we've found some really unique exchanges from people who wouldn't even think they would actually need that. We had a organisation that were a part of the CDS, Container Deposit Scheme, and they joined Aspire, and we were thinking they're going to be using it maybe to get some cans or different bottles or anything like that. But they actually fitted out their whole office from furniture that they got off Aspire, and they got all types of different conveyor belt parts that we're looking for, part of their business. But again, the fundamentals of what we thought they're going to use it for, they didn't. They used it for something something definitely different. They got a brand new fridge from the back of it. They got a stairwell case from it, and I think from the last conversation I had with them, they probably saved about $15,000 in fitting out their office and in their factory by not actually thinking of what we're going to get it for. But obviously that stimulates that innovation aspect of it, which is really, really important. I'll just go to this interest here. So this is another thing I want to focus on as a part of this demonstration. So what this part of the platform is, it allows you to get notified of what resources that you need or what goes on the platform. So instead of just sitting there and searching in the marketplace, you can actually put down here what you're interested in. So when someone lists one of those assets or those items, you'll get notified, push notification, I said earlier, or email that these items are on, and it's up to you if you want to see it. But also too, this will also allow you, if there's certain things you don't want to see in your supply side of the platform, you won't. But again, this also, it's all about trying to enable the circular economy and allow the business to be circular by trying to procure assets off the platform. We actually just had, this was actually probably about 2 months ago, we had a guy pick up or get off the platform one of those soft serve machines you get from McDonald's, right? Someone put it on, it was sitting there stagnant, it had been in their yard for a while, still really good condition, brand new. I think they're about $50,000, and this guy's quite savvy. He took it from them. I think he got it for free by memory, and I think he managed to fix it and get it up and going. So again, he's selling that for maybe about, I think it's about 10,000 he's selling it for, but he put about 2 days worth of work in and actually fixed his soft serve machine, which was destined for landfill, collecting dust. And this guy, I was absolutely blown away. And that guy now, he looks at the platform, and anything that's electrical that doesn't work anymore, he grabs it and he fixes it. And if he doesn't fix it, he scraps it, I think. But at the end of the day, what he wants to try to do is fix these assets and put them back in the platform. He actually, I think he also too got a meat grinder or something else off it. So again, but this guy, end of the day, he's an electrical engineer. So you think about electrical things. When he joined the platform, he might be trying to get construction demolition products, but no, he's grabbing all this electrical equipment and he's fixing it and making it good and reselling it, right? So it's exactly almost like his own little repair cafe, right? So yeah, really important aspect to it. And we hear about these stories all the time, and we're quite proud of what we're able to enable that part of the platform. But anyway, I digress. I'll get back to this. So so with this here, so you get to select what you're looking for. Obviously, we've got a few highlighted here, the C and D, furniture and wood. You go to next, you sort of list of what you're looking for. You can actually go and like all. You hit next. You tick this box first and you hit next. And what this will do is this will go through, and anything that's in the platform that sort of suits your matching, it'll come into your supply portal here and allow everything. Obviously, we just tick furniture, construction, demolition. It all sort of pops up into here, right? So this is sort of the algorithm sort of side of the platform, where it looks very similar to the marketplace, but it's very different. So this is what you determine off what your interests are. Okay. So I'll close that up. We've got different sort of reporting aspects to this. This is a supply chain option where we work with some organisations if they want it as a sort of supplementary product, where they can actually invite their own supply chain or value chain in the platform, so they can actually manage these resources or assets, which is really important. This is another one here called Aspire Plus, where people can actually upload pre-existing information or data into the platform, and then we can give them a snapshot of what their baseline is, their circular economy baseline is. So yeah, again, it's pretty simple. Yep, there's an address book where you actually add the business that you're working with, you add the transaction, and it goes through and it measures exactly what the embodied carbon value and the savings is off the back of it. Okay, so that's like a really important part of the platform. That's called Aspire Plus and allows you to do a retrospective look. Yeah, another thing we've got up here, obviously there's notifications. Here's a quick sort of link to all the messages that you might have that you might want to be able to look at. It's quite important, so you can sort of sit there and manage them all in one position, like resources out and in, request listings, all different things like that. We've got in here like different sort of parts of obviously like your profile, so you can log out, you can change different settings, you can upgrade, you can do anything you like. There's a quick button here to add a new resource. So we've got a quick link here. Also, to mind you, Aspire works really well. This is the desktop version I'm sort of showing you, but it works really well on mobile application and on your tablet or on your mobile. We have a lot of customers when we go to onboard them, they'll have it already on a tablet or something along those lines, and they just go through there. Takes less than a minute to upload one asset or 100 assets. It doesn't really matter. But we find that is a really optimized way. So people, they can take the photos while they're looking at it, opens up your camera, you just log in, and you list it. So it's, again, it's a nice and quick and good platform to get businesses started on their circular journey. So what I'll do now is I'll stop sharing and I'll just go back to the demonstration. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I've lost you. Share. Good. You see this? Yeah. So again, so with the demonstration, the platform's quite agile. We have organisations. They've got 100 and what I think it was 112 staff are in their organisation using it. We have organisations with 2 or 3. But also too, you can bring your supply chain and value chain into the platform, and that's one of the reasons why we're working with Glen Eira. Because as sort of I said earlier, any business under 20 staff that registered or their business is based in Glen Eira, they can use the platform for free, right? So they can get in there, they can start trying to procure assets, they can start listing assets, and then we can sort of measure their carbon reduction across their ecosystem, as well as, allowing Glen Eira businesses, take those first critical steps towards circular economy and sustainability. By using the platform here, we're trying to de-risk a lot of the problems you might have with some of your clients when they start asking you for this information. So all you need to do is start using Aspire, and you can start, providing some of that data to them. And obviously too, it's going to sort of help solidify your business and be that point of difference moving forward. So, have you got any questions from the audience, or have you got any questions, Sylvia, regarding the demonstration at all?
No, it was very thorough, and thanks for that. I think quite intuitive. So,
Yeah, no problem.
yeah. I don't have any, but if anyone wants to unmute themselves or write it in the chat, that we can answer that question.
I know some of the common questions we sometimes get through the platform is what type of what volumes or frequencies you can put onto the platform at any one time. One of the things that you can do is if you've got an asset that's coming out of your business weekly, right, you can actually set it up to actually come out weekly. Okay. So it's not necessarily a set and forget, but you can actually set the asset, and instead of having to upload it once a week, you can just go through and adjust the volumes of it, so to speak. Because what we tend to find to do is some organizations will the assets or the outputs of their business will fluctuate every once in a while, and what we want to do is be flexible enough to help the businesses go in and edit these quite quickly, so they don't have to go in there and relist the asset straight away. We do work with other procurement platforms too. So basically, some organizations use tools like Salesforce, and we've integrated with them before, but it all depends on the volumes and frequencies that you do come out of the platform. And another thing too, like as I sort of said earlier, like using the platform, you'll obviously match with businesses or assets that are localized to your platform, being a circular economy tool or circular economy digital tool. It's all about circular economy principles, right? So it's all about reuse, repurpose, re-commerce, remanufacture over recycling. So we do have recyclers on the platform as they're an important part of it, but you'll always get matched with a business that will look to reuse and repurpose these resources rather than just send it straight to recycle or anything like that. But it all depends on the value of the asset and what conditions it's in. Like again, we had someone had, I think it was about 50 or 60 fan coil units, which are a lot to do with air conditioning. You got your fin coils, a lot of aluminium in it. A lot of them were very damaged. They come from repair. So there's no real reuse for that, but they're quite valuable when it comes to recycling because there's aluminium in it, there's copper, there's a lot of precious metals in it. So, so with that, they matched with the recycle and did that exchange, and now they're, that's a constant now. They've been doing that for a few years, but they can actually go test the market with some of the price of those assets that they're getting rid of. Another thing, we get some businesses that have been working with a partner or working with an organisation to take their sort of scrap metal for several years, and they'll go and relist it on the platform, and they'll find out they can get a better price, right? So it gives them a bit more negotiation power when it comes to saving, saving time and saving their bottom line. Another one of the feedbacks that we sort of get with Aspire that's quite important is the reason why, right? Why should I do it? Why should I do it as an organisation? Again, the value proposition for every organisation will slightly shift depending on the size of it. A lot of our businesses, probably about 40% of them are under probably 20 staff. So they're like the micro SMEs in Aspire, right? Or what you sort of call them. And back in the day, they see the environmental impact of it and how that's important. But again, pulling the levers to see what's most valuable to the business, we really got to we focus on the fact that it's not necessarily about saving time and money, right? It's all about building efficiencies within the business and improving their margins, right? So we work with organizations to do that. Sometimes, the environmental impact is a good to have, or it's a good plus to have. But end of the day, really got to work on these businesses and see how you can sort of change their behaviors and improve their efficiencies and again, margins. Because if you're not going to do that, it's going to be very difficult for businesses to make that switch or make that switch circular. Obviously, with those new mandatory financial disclosures that are coming out, you're going to be asked for them soon anyway. Probably within the next 6 months, all these businesses will be starting to ask, hey, where's this data? What can you give me? And you're going to be obliged to actually provide it, because last thing we're going to do is upstart your supply chains or value chains or anything off the back of that. So here's sort of another QR code. I'll hand it back over to you, Sylvia, if you like.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, that if there's any questions arising after this, then please feel free to contact either us at Glen Eira, so sustainablebusiness@gleneira.vic.gov.au, or Aspire, Cameron and his team, happy to chat further or help with any other information. And as we mentioned few times now, it's free, so under 20 employees to join, and also there is a discounted price for bigger enterprises as well. So we try to make it accessible to everyone to join in and be part of the circular economy. So yeah, I think it was a great presentation. Thanks very much, Cameron, and thank you everyone for joining. And as we said in the beginning, we will also send out the recording so you can revisit it and contact us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, guys, especially on a Monday. There's our contact details there. So you can either email us or scan on that. It goes to our LinkedIn. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything, because at the end of the day, we want to be helping these businesses make smart business decisions. And thank you very much, for Glen Eira for providing this platform to the businesses within the region, right? It's a big step. It's a huge step. It's the first of many. So thank you very much, everyone. And go enjoy your lunch.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.